Artpod. Arts for the ears from the Collezione Maramotti. A collaboration with Doppiozero. Barry X. Ball. Matthew Barney. 2000 to 2003. Written by Massimo Marino. It's something of a shock to see it hanging there in the Collezione Maramotti. Matthew Barney's head, splotched red as if bleeding, with two long appendages like a neck emptied of the flesh that should link it to a body. A face frozen into the chill of fine sculpture, lifted toward the ceiling on a gold-plated spike. A friend's face carved out of precious Mexican onyx, transformed into a sort of Saint Sebastian pierced through the head by a single dart. The skull is a cap set over the face, which is fixed in an intent yet fluid expression. It looks like an anthropologist's artifact, a head preserved by some tribe that embalms the most noble part of their enemies or kin, their guardian ancestors. The fluidity of the man who made Cremaster, magical videos of transformation, a journey through American myths, is perfectly recreated by the play of light, which multiplies the sculpture's reflections here and there on the ground. Gelid autoptic horror and the power of metamorphosis. This piece, which grew out of an admiring exploration of classic Italian sculpture, like the other works in Ball's Portraits and Masterpieces series, is a blend of craft and technology. Using a 3D scan of the person or object, or data from a high-resolution camera, the original is duplicated in the chosen material and then decorated by hand. Raised in California in a fundamentalist Christian family, Ball always seems to be seeking the uniqueness of the individual and how it can be multiplied, cloned, evaporated into multitudes. He has also made herms of his friend Matthew Barney that are placed in dialogue with the faces or necks of the artist himself, in another game of mirrors that multiplies identity, digs into and dissolves it. These heads reveal a tangle of veins accentuated by the material, like the flayed bodies depicted in the chapel of Raimondo di Sangro, Prince of Sansevero. There, the model is unquestionably late Baroque and esoteric. Here, the forms instead evoke the austerity of the Middle Ages or early Renaissance. But the game of visages and features in Ball's work does not stop here. He has also made a series of faces of Count Panza di Varese, his first major collector, all bearing slightly different expressions, in a bold multiplication of his personality that liquefies the singular, emphasizing individual mobility through hypostatization into stone, always with an underlying fixity, an immobility that leads into the void. It is probably a coincidence, but an intriguing one, that around the same time Barry X. Ball was conceiving these portraits, between the 1990s and 2000s, the Quebecois director Denis Marlot presented a production based on Maeterlinck's The Blind. It featured 12 masks of human faces, 6 male and 6 female. The men were all copies of one face, as were the women. They appeared to the audience hanging motionless in the dark, then were brought to life by the voices of 2 actors off stage. The lighting and projections created the impression that they were gradually changing, twitching, speaking, trying to break out of the shadows in which they were imprisoned. The piece was presented at the Festival d'Avignon in 2002, and then in Italy. Like Barry X. Ball's work, the device here combined technology, the shifting, talking masks, with craft, theater. This was spelled out by the subtitle of the play, Technological Phantasmagoria, which tried to bend the rules of theater, removing the presence of actors to reveal subterranean forces. In that case, however, after the initial shock of the faces looming high above, which seemed to peer down without looking at us, or to be seeing into some dark elsewhere, the focus became the head and how it spins in circles around the inconsolable, hopeless pain of existence. In Barry X. Ball's sculpture, what one notes is its painful, wounded, stripped immobility, not even capable of screaming, unlike the backside of the other, two-faced version, where Barney's mirrors the artist's. The image here, archaic, gazes into the depths of nothing, multiplied by the lights above, a copied sky of stars on the floor of the museum, the prized trophy of some barbarian princess who, like Turandot, beheads those unable to solve her riddles. That is to say, all of us.
an initiative with the support of Max Mara.